All right, all right. Good evening, everyone. You're tuned in to Holler at the Success Scholar with the Sapo Haki Ammi. Thank you all for tuning in and listening in. Man, it's a beautiful, beautiful day. Just want to thank everybody for continued support. And with much of the operations that we have, we certainly appreciate much of that. And, we got a lot of good stuff going on. So we're going to keep making progress, keep making moves, and definitely just step things up over the next few weeks, and waiting for our guests to call in. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in last week. Who we have last week? We had Sister Pat talking about the upcoming book expo that's going to be coming to the Morgan State University, and definitely want to thank Morgan State for allowing for this expo to be there over the past several months. So that's been, past few years, 8 years now. So it's really a great opportunity. So I'm waiting on my guests here, but as we continue to organize, I want to let everybody know my guest is going to be joining me. I've known him for some years, and certainly we have continued to do some phenomenal work. I've learned a lot from him, and have witnessed and have bear witness to his growth and his elevation, as well as critical thinking skills. And so, but I'll just go ahead and start promoting for this coming event. Hopefully he'll join me, soon, and we'll just keep the show rolling. 1B. We'll just keep the show rolling. But coming up here, October the 5th in D.C. at the Press Club, we will have a phenomenal event. That's going to be on a Thursday. And that is, and I'll put that up here. It's going to be Black Men and Black Life Under Donald Trump in America, White Supremacy. So, and that's going to be speaking live Thursday, October the 5th at the National Press Club. So, and I'm having some technical difficulties. What's going on, Brother William? Having some technical difficulties with my laptop, and I don't know why, but all right, let's see if this will work. But, so hopefully we'll get our brother on, but I'd like to read out some of the names of some of the individuals that are going to be present for that. I know what I need to do. That are going to be present for that event coming up here. It's a kickoff rally towards the 10,000 men march, and that is going to be at 3 o'clock at the Press Club. That's 529 14th Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. So we are definitely looking forward to that. I know several amazing people will be present for that. And so I'll read off some of the names. Of course, Dr. Cornel West will be present. The Black Lawyers of Justice will be present. So, it's a lot of other phenomenal, amazing individuals. Peace and blessings to you, brother. Thank you for checking us out. As well as the Alliance of Concerned Men. So they will definitely be present. But if you're looking at it from home, you can go to our eLife Media site, elifemedia.net, to look at that. But I want to mention, as I continue to read the names of the people that will be present, the Alliance of I said that, Mitchell Nkrumah speaks. So hopefully we'll get Brother Mitchell present. Tyrone Parker, Pastor Steve Young. I think I've seen him at some events in the D.C. area. Okay, somebody's sending me text messages. And Haki Ammi, that's me. So looking forward. I hope I get some minutes, man. I really, I didn't know this event was going to be at the Press Club. But, I was hoping that we would have a more bigger auditorium type where I could do a real presentation. So hopefully over the next couple weeks. Oh, yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother David. All right. Brother said he attended the debate of the decade that we did some weeks ago. What's been like 4 or 5 months now? Yeah, it may have been 4 or 5 months. Oh man. Okay. All right. That's cool. So somebody's just texting me about another meeting. They must don't know that I am live here now. So, oh man, but trying to get this thing going. Man, I am having so many technical difficulties here. But yeah, you said your father died, brother. Sorry to hear that. At 1 p.m. after I attended the debate at the press club. Okay, King David is here. Thank you, brother. Yeah, let's build. Hopefully we can talk soon. And the National Black United Front, they will be present. Pastor Edward Sutton, and he got a film coming out. He's out of Baltimore. That's actually Brother Malik Zulu Shabazz's cousin. So I'm hoping that we definitely can get him on. And let me just check my texts, make sure he got the right number. Let's see. Okay. I'm glad I checked. Okay, there we go. All right. I gave it to him a little earlier, but he must not have seen it. So I just checked. So he'll be calling in shortly. Yeah, there we go. And it's cool because my other thing is not on, so he'll be calling in shortly. But the Baltimore Deacons for Defense, Deacons of Defense will be present. African People's Socialist Party, the New Black Panther Party, Concerned Citizens of D.C., Jahar Abraham will be present. 100 Black Fathers. Man, it's just a plethora of lineup. That's just half of the page. So let me read some of the others. So if you're just tuning in here, I have our brother getting ready to call in, Brother Malik, Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. So I'll 455. I gave him the right number this time, so he's good. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sometimes I can't worry about aesthetics, but yeah. So hopefully we get our brother in. But let me finish this worldwide Pan-African movement. National Black Power Movement, National Black Men's Movement, Stop the Destruction Coalition of D.C., of Washington, D.C., Shabazz University, Imam Akbar, D.C. Recovery Act, John Cheeks, he's going to be running for office in D.C. Don't know what ward that is, but Dr. Amy Jenkins, was this right? Roach Brown, Yango, B. Copeland, he's been on with me a few times. He called in here. Jonathan Hutu, City Councilman Trayon White, I've heard about him. Okay, Brother Malik says 2 minutes. So PG chapter of NAACP, the UNIA appeal, and many more. So that's a lot of people that's going to be lining up here to speak. But let me just mention several books I have out here. Let me just, what I have. I have Menticide, yeah. And, of course, that's my book, Mission Unstoppable, Extraordinary Stories of Failure's Blessing. Several people may not understand why I put that together, but it was, a strategic move. Sometimes you got to expand your network, expand what people think, what you stand for, and who you're supposed to affiliate yourself with. But, I keep my options open. I always, you have to position yourself for survival and success. And so, when you read broadly, appropriately, you find yourself in different networks. And this is what true leaders learn, from other individuals. You can learn a lot from a lot of different people if you open your mind and not be so close to these unique differences that many of us may have. So, so I'm just really excited, and I had a good time actually talking to Dr. Leonard Jeffries, who many people, you certainly, if you don't know Dr. J, I didn't know. So I got a book from him, and it's Dr. Wade Noble's book. He's one of the more prominent black psychologists, in the world. And this book talked Haiti's unfinished revolution, and I've met, certainly you've met Dr. Wade Nobles once, certainly at the Association of Black Psychologists Conference. Every once in a while, they've been here. I went a little bit last year. So, and I got the Prince's card. I forgot I had that in here. So, one of the brothers from Nigeria was rolling with Dr. Jeffries at the Congressional Black Caucus, where he went into the African Brain Trust Forum. So, what else I have? I was browsing, getting ready for this show. I was reading through this book, as you all see there, Menticide. Awesome book, great book. I've worked with this brother over the years, and Wale Muparudi over the years, read most of his books, and had him there to the Baltimore area on several times. So, that's what I do. I introduce unique people to markets when other people may not necessarily know who they are, because that's what happens when you read the right books and show up at the right places. So without further ado, I have my brother on the line, and let me just give a proper introduction. He is one of our most intellectually sound, I'll just describe him as that, well-studied, mature veterans of the movement. He's been on the front line for years, and he's been consistent, fair, and upright, and bringing a clear voice and sound mind and sound reasoning to our movement. Certainly, he should need no introductions, but he's been organizing in the D.C. area and all over the country and all throughout the world for issues for black people. He has been a staunch, conscious black man. If we can't call ourselves anything today, forget about all the differences. Let's just say we're going to be black men. All right? So the founder of the Black Lawyers for Justice, as well as previous chairman emeritus of the New Black Panther Party. And he is using his law degree that he got from Howard University to battle in the court of law for black liberation and empowerment. So I want to introduce a good brother, my friend, who I've known for years. I've stood by him when others have attempted to discredit his work, but he has been on the front line with one of the strongest, most fearless leaders on the black planet. And now I'm speaking of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, but Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. Welcome, brother.
My phone right here. Welcome in Black Power. How are you doing?
All right, Black Power to you, brother. Welcome. Thank you. I was here, just let me get that mic. It's good. I hear it good. All right. Yeah, so man, you're doing some phenomenal work, continuing to stand on the front line, on the front line, brother, as always, right?
Yes, sir. I want to thank you for your introduction, and I want to say I appreciate your work as well, Brother Haki, and your evolution in maturity and growth in the struggle, and your sound mind and sound analysis here and presence in the struggle. I want to thank you and for being a strong black man and for being a real brother to me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for that as we open up. Thank you so much.
All right. Ashe, brother. Ashe. Well, we got a few things to talk about, my brother. You're putting some work in, but let's lead off with the book of Khalid, that you are working on. I know you have other tasks at hand, but I know that this is a labor of love. And as I heard you being interviewed on several stations, but certainly on Carl Nelson's show, you expressed how, emotionally just doing this book was for you, the Book of Khaled, for
Yes.
those who may not know. Just open with that, Bob. How's it going?
Yes, sir. I am continuing to work on the Book of Khaled, which is the first book coming out on the immortal and the honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad. His teachings, his speeches, his ideology, and the actual facts that back up what our great warrior was saying. I'm continuing to work on it. I would say we are about 70% finished with it, and we have not set a release date again. I can give a calculated date of around Kwanzaa time, certainly before Black History Month, 100%. But what happened was I had to have a pause in the project due to taking another look at how important the project is and how much detail the footnotes and the writing of this history, really mainly between the years of the 1980s, the 1990s, and the 2000s, how important this history is, as they are the footnotes and they are the references for what he's saying as the book progresses with his speeches throughout his career. And so it's a labor of love, and it's something that I cannot and should not rush. I'm considered, to be honest, one of the strongest books out for many reasons. One reason is because the history of our era has not really been written. We grew up in an era, Brother Haki, where we read about the 60s.
Right.
We read about other eras, but nobody has really written heavily enough from a black nationalist, a black liberation perspective. These histories that you and I have witnessed in the late 80s, the mid 80s, late 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s.
Yes.
So I want to say that we're still going strong. I personally apologize to everybody for the delay, but the delay has been for good reason.
Yes, sir.
With such an important 900-page Book of Khaled. It's coming soon, as we continue also to, due to the necessity of the times, to fight on several fronts with all that is going on here in the hells of North America.
All right, yeah. So let's open talking about that fighting. I know that you are going to be in Charlottesville coming up this week, correct?
Yes. I'm going to be in Charlottesville. I am at the Mount Zion First African Baptist Church. The Mount Zion First African Baptist Church on this Wednesday night, September 27th. I'm going to be there with the victims. August the 12th. August the 12th, 17 in Charlottesville is where a terrible white supremacist mass rally took place. That same rally that President Trump defended and said that there were nice people in that rally. That same rally where white supremacists ran over and killed a white woman and ran over other black people, breaking their legs and severely injuring black people, as well as white supremacists beat many black people on that day. Although some brothers and sisters fought back strong in self-defense, still white racist supremacist Nazis right here in the United States of America openly beat black people in the streets there in Charlottesville. Some of them have been arrested on criminal charges, and others are still going free. And so on behalf of Black Lawyers for Justice, we're looking for some neo-Nazis. We're looking for some Klan. And we're looking for either the ones that have been arrested. Let's say they've been arrested on criminal charges. Well, we want to file civil suits against them on behalf of the victims.
Yes, sir.
We don't care whether they got deep pocket insurance or not. Probably don't have no insurance. We don't care if the devil is almost broke or don't have nothing. We want to put judgments on him, and garnishments on him, and hassle and harass this devil for the rest of his life.
Yes, sir.
On a civil and a litigation level. Others of them have not even been brought to justice. We have their photographs. We have photographs, and they have not been brought to justice.
Wow.
So members of the community are interested in apprehending them and turning them over to the authorities or identifying. Because, Black Lawyers for Justice, we don't have no association with the authorities. However, we're interested again in suing individual Nazis for crimes and torts against our people. We're looking at suing white nationalist organizations, every group that was a part of sponsoring this rally, which resulted in these acts against our people.
Yes, sir.
The city of Charlottesville, we are investigating. We will announce Wednesday we're launching an official investigation to determine whether or not the city of Charlottesville was deliberately indifferent, meaning they knew the threat that was coming and they consciously were aware of it and they did nothing to stop these out-of-control Nazis from overrunning their alleged police protection and harming citizens in that town. So that's the scope of our work, scope of our investigation from a legal level. And that's the Wednesday night rally and the Thursday morning news conference right at that statue that the white supremacists want up. Is where our news conference will be Thursday the 28th. The Robert E. Lee statue will be right there. Now, that's on the legal level, my dear brother. Now, on a political level, I have been also invited there by the Movement for Black Power. And the Movement for Black Power, and this is a coalition of groups from around the tri-state area, some of them from Hampton Roads and Richmond, some from in-town, some from Washington, D.C., who have been investigating this thing. Dr. Amy Jenkins and others, okay? And now, so the mission is not only litigation, but it's also organization. And there's also a mandate for the beginning of self-defense classes and training and collaboration on self-defense for around the state, as well as self-defense for around the state, a must. And also the organizing in that town, the organizing for what? In that town and other Virginia towns, organizing for black power, or we call it self-determination and political power. So it's a three-prong attack. I'm just playing my role, but we have to, dear brother. We see our people hurt and beat like that. I can't ethically let it happen in my backyard and not do something.
Indeed, indeed. Well, it sounds like a very well thought out strategy, brother. To your knowledge, has anyone, really done anything like that? Try to, take it up to another level of legality. To your knowledge.
I'm so sad to say no.
Wow.
I'm so sad to say that since this incident, which is a serious civil rights or human rights and civil rights attack on our people, there has been little official national attention from national civil rights organizations.
Wow.
There's been no organizations. And what we're doing, but the practice of what we're doing has a precedent. You see, it has been white groups such as the Southern Poverty Law Center that have gone out and sued black groups. And they've also sued the Klan.
Right. Yes.
They've also sued us, people like me and you. And also,
Right.
I'm talking about people like Mark Potok, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and others.
Right.
White people have groups that defend their human rights or whatever interest they have, and they have been suing. What is the role of the black attorney, my dear brother?
Yes.
Where are my good friends in the leadership of the National Bar Association, the black lawyers? Where is the collection and groups of black lawyers that fight these causes? Why does it always have to be the ACLU? Unfortunately, the ACLU will defend the protesters, but the ACLU also fought for the Nazis' right to march.
Right.
And so we have Black Lawyers for Justice, which is just solely and only for black people.
Right.
And we're now growing and developing.
Yes, sir.
And we're just pressing the attack. We're trying to, as small as we are pressing the attack with our dozen or so attorneys to be most aggressive in unprecedented areas of litigation in accordance with the needs of the time.
Right. Well, just to let everybody know, Black Lawyers for Justice. Definitely. Let me see if the website is on here, but yes.
It's blfjustice.org. BLF, like Black Lawyers for Justice.org.
Right.
And we are, again, conducting litigation and organization actions in Charlottesville, Virginia, as a response to the August 12, 17 white nationalist riot that took place in that city. And black people are welcoming us there because they want justice and they want to organize. And so here we are. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Indeed, indeed. Well, definitely. In terms of, understanding the law aspect, in terms of also understanding we need to build a grassroots movement, what has been your strategy? And I know we have the October the 5th event coming up. I mentioned it briefly, but, building a grassroots movement. Recently, there was the Congressional Black Caucus going on this weekend. I mean, there may be, a couple good workshops, but, I'm just like, well, where's the true power? I'm just wondering, did anything come out of that, and how do we move people to real action?
Yeah, that's a very good question and a very astute observation. I made the same observation. The Congressional Black Caucus is a decent convention. You have black people from all walks of life that are coming from all over America, sometimes from around the world, to the convention.
Yes, right.
But there still lacks a zeal and a feel for authentic grassroots organizing. For example, like we passing our flyers and pushing our program, and we almost the only one.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that. Right.
At least the brothers and sisters will take the flyers, though. At least they won't be real bushy.
Right.
So it's to be honest, it's kind of bushy.
Yeah, right.
I mean, everybody is dressed to the nines. I mean, they dress down and they looking good at that Black Caucus convention, and we are a good-looking people, and they are receptive. So I look at it more so as an organizing opportunity.
Right.
I think that the substance of it and who's on the panels and how they set it up is highly politicized.
Yes, sir.
And it's watered down, to be honest. and if you're not in with the civil rights crews on this, you are out of luck. Well, you are out of luck with your black nationalism unless you accepted what Dr. Khaled called a tartar sauce, not a hot sauce, civil rights. You have to be a toned down type nationalist. Let me put it like that. You have to be a toned down nationalist to get a seat in there.
Yeah.
So we don't trip. We just go in, and it's a great place to meet people.
Right.
A great place to network, and maybe they'll do better in the future with a more balanced programming because it could be used for stronger purposes. I have to be honest with you. I expect more out of the Congressional Black Caucus at the time when the President of the United States of America is calling black players sons of bitches.
Yes, sir.
I expect more out of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Right.
I expect them to be entering resolutions on the floor condemning Donald Trump.
Right. Yes, sir.
Resolution condemning his language, condemning his racism. I expect to see that. I don't expect to hear silence from them in this hour. So, yes, they are still behind and they're missing in action. And I have to be honest, as much as we respect some of them, we have to say that the judgment is still out on whether it's the Congressional Black Caucus or the Congressional Black Caucus. The vote is still out.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Yes, sir.
And
up in the air.
Yeah, and so in terms of certain strategies and tactics, building a grassroots movement, I will make a case that you are the most sophisticated organizers of our time. Whether anyone would like to acknowledge any of that, I'll just say you have a good total grasp and a pulse of the people, and not just sitting around waiting for a pie in the sky.
True.
Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Let me comment on the building of the movement. I appreciate what you're saying. My experience, as your experience, comes from the experience and the teachers that we've had in this era.
Mm-hmm.
We have had, of course, when we were at Howard University in the late 1980s, we heard from the Honorable Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael. And we heard from us, Minister Louis Farrakhan. We heard from Dr. Khalid Muhammad. And we heard many others. But when we heard Kwame Ture, are we okay?
Yeah, we okay. We okay. We got
right.
you.
So when we heard Brother Baba, the Honorable Kwame Ture of Stokely Carmichael, he constantly was telling us about organizing. Now, we're not in the 1960s, brother, because if we were in the 1960s with the racial climate as it was, and everybody was mobilizing and moving everywhere, it was a much easier climate. We're in a different kind of environment today. And so whatever success that I've been blessed to have in this era, I'm thankful.
Mm-hmm.
But we heard and we learned the lessons from our elders that put us in this position, or they give us this mindset. We're all about unity and building a united front. That's what really turned me on as a student. I had an organization called Unity Nation.
Unity Nation, right.
So in whatever we're doing, one level is what you call sophistication in trying and continuing to build the movement that we are building, or the coalitions that we have built. It's being sophisticated enough to know and to recognize other people's teachings and beliefs, and to recognize and respect them, and to be able to find a common bond to work together on whatever project we're working on.
Yes, sir.
It's a less divisive approach, and it's a more of an inclusive approach.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Khalid Muhammad gives us universal knowledge. He teaches us the best parts of being black and being Christian. He'll teach us the best parts of being black and being Muslim. He'll take us to the root of it all and appeal to the person that believes in ancient Kemet and Kush and so forth, and or African spiritual beliefs. Or we can relate to the socialists, or we can relate to the communists, or the straight black nationalists, or the Pan-Africanist, or the Black Panther type person, or the Nation of Islam type person. We grew up being taught on the value of all of those that make up our struggle, and we've been taught that building and organizing a united front is the best path. That was the path that anybody would tell you. When I was chairman of the new Black Panther Party, I was constantly pushing and even frustrated in the mission to broaden the mission so it could do what? Build a united front amongst our people. Still to this very day, it's the very mission. And as we talk about October 5th coming up, the announcement of the 10,000 Black Men's March, the National Black Men's Coalition.
Yes, sir.
We're talking about building a coalition, building a united front.
Right.
When we had Dr. Cornel West here last time, and he'll be back October 5th, well, why are we hanging out with Dr. Cornel West? Dr. Cornel West maybe says his position on one or two issues is different than yours, Mr. Shabazz, different than yours, Mr. Shakur. Why are you all hanging out with Dr. Cornel West? Because we understand the science and the principle and the value of building a united front. So that's the constant approach wherever we go. And, you know, whatever success we have, we stay thankful for it. We have to stay consistent because the people need somebody, brother. It's not the 1960s. Yes, we ain't got dozens and dozens of groups and people out here that's willing to either get out here in these streets or get in these courtrooms or fight these battles. Brothers like yourself, myself, and others that are really out here doing this work are few and far between. So we appreciate whatever progress we have been able to make.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let me shout out a few people. Brother Frank Shaw up in New York, Brother Torin, Sister Lois, all of them are tuning in. Brother Hakeem, Brother David Anderson, David Austin, William Murray, Linda. All right, so I just wanted to shout out those few people. I know Brother Frank is a good brother, a comrade of yours as well. But talk about your Jamaica trip. You know, we many of us, we start to look at things from a local perspective or a regional perspective, you know, but, you know, African people, black people are all over the planet. And, you know, we can't just think and position ourselves and stay as a minority so-called minority here in North America. So share with the listening audience, how that trip
Yes.
went and what did you gain from that, and what's your position?
Sure. And I want to just reiterate that on October the 5th
Right,
at
yes,
the
sir.
Thurgood Marshall Center in
Okay.
Washington, D.C.
Oh, Thurgood Marshall.
And I want to get the date right. On October the 5th, we are going to, I'm pulling up the address.
I got the flyer here. I got it here.
Yeah, we're going to be at the Thurgood Marshall Center on
16.
12th
12th
Street,
Street,
Northwest.
Right.
Everybody knows the Thurgood Marshall Center at 6 o'clock on Thursday, October 5th.
Okay.
Myself, Dr. Cornell West, Brother Haki Ammi, all of, and 30 or 40 other black organizations and leaders have been invited out as we kick off the National Black Men's Convention and the 10,000 Black Men's March, which will now be put at April 19th through the 22nd, 2018, with the big day being on April 21st.
Mm-hmm.
And so that we have enough time now, 6, almost 7 months, to
Right.
seriously again organize a coalition, a united front of brothers, black men, as you said when you opened up. We just groups that just want to be able to freely stand up and advocate black men being men and being free and building a united front among strong black men. That's where we start on October 5th in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Now back to Jamaica. I was invited to Jamaica on August 20th for the celebration of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey's anniversary celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And there I was invited by Irie FM and Sister Kabu Ma'at and Sister Oli and others there at Irie FM. This was broadcast all over the nation of Jamaica on Irie FM and on video. Who also were there was one of the leading and earliest founders of the slogan Black Power and great men of struggle, Mukasa Rick.
Yes.
Also Dr. Julius Garvey, the son of Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And others here, Brother Michael Duncan from the UNIA and many others struggled. I was blessed to be the keynote there.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
I
sir.
was asked to be the keynote due to, I guess, my resume
Yes,
in
sir.
the
Yes,
struggle,
sir. Indeed.
which includes in 2013 and 2016 traveling to South Africa,
Right.
called,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
properly called Azania,
Right.
and traveling to Zimbabwe on an international mission. And what has come out of that is we have laid the germ and the base for a worldwide Pan-African movement.
Right.
And so I'm in Jamaica as on a Pan-African mission. I'm in Jamaica not just to speak, but I'm in Jamaica to organize.
Mm-hmm.
So I was blessed by God to give a strong speech in Jamaica.
Yes, sir.
I think it's so strong that I'm still waiting on the tape to come out. For some reason, the tape still hasn't come out. Boy, we laid into Trump's backside
Yes, sir.
on foreign soil. As they say, you're not supposed to criticize the president on foreign soil. We tore his behind up.
Yes, sir.
And they love it because they hate Donald Trump all over the world, brother. The
Wow.
hatred for him is high.
Mm.
At any rate, we spoke strongly, and again there we speaking to who? Jamaicans, we speaking to Rastas, we speaking to Pan-Africanists, and we speaking to blacks with a different perspective on the struggle there.
Mm-hmm.
And so being well trained in their language and in that approach, we were blessed to do very well in Jamaica. I've had now hundreds of phone calls from Jamaica since I've left, and all of those that have been contacted me in our WhatsApp and whatnot, we will say that, now we're organizing strong in Jamaica. I did a broadcast last week. All of this can be found on www.panafricanmovement.org. Everything I'm saying can be found on www.panafricanmovement.org, which means worldwide Pan-African-movement.org.
Mm-hmm.
Also, for the Pan-African Movement international site, and the origin of it in South Africa is www.pam.org. www.pam.org.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying we were blessed there, blessed to be following up there, blessed to be going back. I go back at the end of November to Jamaica, and then guest of the Jamaicans over to Colombia and maybe a couple of other Central American countries. Because I'm charged by the Worldwide Pan-African Movement to help raise up the Western Hemisphere and to do what? Build a united front of Pan-African or strong organizations and brothers and sisters in the Western Hemisphere. And this Worldwide Pan-African Movement is something that a lot of people haven't heard about, but it's for real. They're brothers and sisters from the Pan-Africanist Congress of Azania who are at the origin of it, the All-African People's Revolutionary Party over there in Africa who are at the origin of it, and from at least 33 countries right now, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Ghana, of course, throughout the states of the United States of America. It's growing, but it's growing in that substantive and deliberative way. And I, as was one of the ambassadors and spreading the effort, brother, it's the same work, but on a higher level. We're building a united front of what? Blacks from around the world. We are not just an American people. We have friends around the world. We have resources around the world. We have power around the world. And our power does not lie in sitting up here saying we are a 15% minority under Donald Trump. That is not where our power lies.
Yes, sir.
Our power lies in understanding that we are a worldwide 1 billion strong majority. And that if we coordinate our actions beyond national borders, beyond colonial borders, that we are a hell of a powerful people, the richest, most influential people on the planet. So, we'll talk about it further, but everybody on the sound of my voice, if you're organizing, if you're serious, you are invited into the Worldwide Pan-African Movement as well. I'm hoping to coordinate and talk further about this with you and Dr. West and others so we can build on a higher Pan-African level.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, brother. Good. Yeah, so in terms of legal work and grassroots organizing, I believe it was in the New Black Panther paper where I read the role of political prisoners. In terms of building a movement, what would be a best strategy to continue to, because understanding we have limited resources in terms of our times, and you've explained, the process in terms of, going, how you strategically take a case. But, our political prisoners, we certainly should not forget them. And as I was reading that many different movements, they got their political prisoners released at a particular time before they started doing more work. So can you just speak to that, brother?
It's very important issues you raise of traditional political prisoners, and today even we have some political prisoners in the New Black Panther Party movement. Brother King Samir Shabazz is a current political prisoner. You could say he's locked up in New Jersey. He's not locked up for civil reasons. He's locked up for political and, as they say, criminal reasons, but it's mixed. He's being targeted because of who he is.
Right.
Brother Sharif Amenhotep is in New Jersey, and heavily mentioned in his case always is the fact that he's a Black Panther and he's a threat, and we know that he's under investigation as he traveled with me to South Africa and came under higher degrees of intense observation since then, and due to his own work in his own right in Newark, New Jersey. Now, many of our political prisoners come from the Black Liberation Army, soldiers that went to war for us and fought in the BLA and were either captured by the enemy. And we say that all of them should be exonerated due to the fact that we were a state of war, and we still are in a state of war, and that the counterintelligence program helped entrap many of them. And overall, the state of war against our people justifies that our freedom fighters and our liberators be exonerated and be freed despite whatever the charges are. Even though many of the charges are trumped up, whatever the charges are, even if it's found that they did do something, or one of them, still should be exonerated or liberated. And also, as you say, other nations have freed their political prisoners, and there is also still an open mandate on the table to free our political prisoners the way we freed Assata Shakur, outside of constantly petitioning the Supreme Court, the federal courts, to please, Master, please, Master, let them go, although the legal work is extremely important. So I support, my dear brother, the release of all political prisoners. I support it, and I will do it all I can to help it. I've helped even Dr. Malachi York. Some people say he's not a political prisoner, but I say still, despite the charges and even the convictions, I still say he is in jail for political reasons because they wanted to stop the organizing of Dr. Malachi York. I put in time with him. I put in time with many of the original Panthers in certain campaigns for political prisoners. Overall, my posture is I'm willing to help if those that are in those political prisoner movements, if they want me to help.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? I'm willing to help if they want me to help.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Because you get into this other scenario which I like to avoid, which is original Black Panther, new Black Panther, and the sides getting split up.
Right.
And when you start splitting up sides, you start creating barriers to the work. So the bottom line to it is we respect them, we love them, and at any time that they want us to help, we're willing to help if they want us to help. You know, and we have helped, and we'll help more in the future.
Absolutely. And you know, you mentioned something about the counterintelligence program. You know, there are two books that are out here. I believe one is the FBI War on Black America, as well as Agents of Repression. And, you know, and that's where I want to, you know, just caution you, brother. You know, I mean, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of different things, and, you know, I pay attention. And, you know, some people's behavior out here, you know, we don't know where it's coming from, whether it's ego or whether individuals are acting to get people to do certain things. And this is where I say, in terms of our character, and this is what I know about you, you know, in terms of our community and, you know, the vices that we have. There was a conversation recently about various types of substances. Should, you know, alcohol or, you know, smoking weed be acceptable in the movement? And I quoted Dr. Khaled. I said, if smoking weed would have freed us by now, we would be certainly the most freest people on the planet.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So, you know, just kind of, you know, I mean, speak to that, you know, the wake up, clean up, stand up philosophy that you were taught, and, you know, how you live your life, and even the health aspect, what you've been encouraging us to deal with.
All right. Okay. It's a couple points you raised there. One about counterintelligence, the second about health.
Right.
I want to say that I am going to go on Black Power Radio in about 15 minutes or so.
Okay.
I'm going to go over there because I'm supposed to do I actually double booked a little bit, but I promised that I would do a health show.
Okay.
With them, with Hashim and Zinga.
Yes,
I'm going to do a health show with him, and with an emphasis on exercise and healthy living and preventive maintenance for Black males.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to speak to that in a moment because we're losing too many of our greats due to I guess situations really as Black men that really could be prevented. Such basic things and things that are not even considered revolutionary, such as preventive checkups, regular checkups, exercise, diet, and things like that is something that we don't talk that often about in the movement.
Right.
Most revolutionaries and most people in the Black conscious movement, seriously, many of them will not go see a doctor. I mean, I've said a lot of brothers, you say, brother, when was the last time you had a physical? When was the last time you had a checkup? Be like, 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Wow.
Many brothers out here knowing health insurance at all can only if it's an extreme emergency will they be found in the emergency room.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
so what is happening is, just on a basic level, there's not a lot of good preventive health. There's not a lot of preventing chronic or catastrophic illnesses that are coming upon our revolutionaries due to just either not believing in it, thinking that the white man's going to do something to them, or even the black man who the doctor's going to do something to them. Bottom line is the black male is not getting to the doctor enough and it's hurting. There's not enough emphasis on exercise in the movement. We taught about not eating a lot. We're taught about not eating a lot. Don't eat beef. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. But then when we say don't eat meat, understand that argument. But then they say the tofu has the estrogen in it. And you can't eat all of these veggie burgers unless you're going to get an extra dose of estrogen. And that was all messed up.
Right.
And so, you still got, even outside of diet, you got diet and dietary questions. But the bottom line is exercise is not being taught enough, and exercise cannot be contradicted. There's not enough straight-up physical exercise that is either taking place in the movement or amongst our people in general. Not enough running, not enough just all kind of stuff, what they call intense cardiovascular exercise. So that's some of the things that I'm even doing more now these days.
Right.
Just lifting weights, running, and trying to be in best top shape, because I found through study and through practice, it relieves stress, and it leaves you in a better health condition to be able to fight the struggle.
Yes, sir.
And it is a heavy tie between your body and your mind, and what they call the physiology of this thing.
Right.
We have to stay in top shape. We have to take care of ourselves. I don't really, to the person who does or does not smoke marijuana, I don't really necessarily get into that, because as a Pan-Africanist, I can't go into Jamaica. I can't do like Dr. Wesley Muhammad and go into Jamaica amongst all these Rastas and start going in on the Rasta about the Rasta smoking weed. That's not going to work. You there?
Right. Yes,
for my Pan-African needs, that ain't going to work.
Right.
And so, I let others deal with certain things, because I'm trying to do what? I'm trying to build the united front. Some things are important, some are not. What is important is that we're functioning. What is important is that we're healthy. What is important is that we can do our jobs competently.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I have seen, brother, to be honest, I've seen some stone cold Nation of Islam down to the bone. They don't do this and they don't do that. They don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't have sex, they don't do this, they don't do that, and they don't do a damn thing either in the cause. So I haven't found conclusive evidence that those that don't do anything ever are so much superior.
Right.
Yes, sir. So, but again, we resonate together on good health, good healthy habits, living a healthy lifestyle, exercise, preventive health, and exercise and being strong in general. I do stuff that some people would think would be a little bit weird, like yoga and things like that, because the black man is not going to be up in these yoga classes with these white women. But I have to tell you, black man, now that on occasion I have to go to a yoga class.
Right. Yes,
and even in the yoga class, I might be the only black male in there. But I'm not going to miss out on the benefit of that Eastern science.
Right.
Because the fact of the matter is that the white man is studying the Eastern sciences of the original people, and he's up in here extending his life.
Yes, sir.
And he's going further in his life, and they are studying the physical and the eating sciences of original people.
Yes,
We're going in the other direction. They are all off into our stuff.
Right.
Trying to live longer.
Indeed.
And better.
All right. Well, brother, so I appreciate this opportunity. So, again, October the 5th at the Thurgood Marshall Center, in D.C. Everybody know where the Thurgood Marshall Center is. But if you have any contact information, Baba, if anybody would like to reach out to you, they need a good, strong attorney for and all of your practices that you do with your firm.
Sure. Thank you so much. If you all want to reach me, my areas of practice are wrongful death. I do police abuse cases. I do wrongful death cases. In the Maryland and the D.C. area, I do all types of personal injury, accidents, all of that. I take care of it and get you your money fast. Around the country, I do, again, wrongful death. I do police cases. And I am in courts around the nation. And we do appeals. We'll handle your civil appeals. 301-513-5445. My number in my office is 301-513-5445. You can make an appointment. My email is attorney, ATTORNEY, attorney.shabazz@yahoo.com. And the website is blfjustice.org. Again, on October 5th at the Thurgood Marshall Center on 1816 12th Street, Northwest D.C. Myself, Malik Zulu Shabazz, Dr. Cornell West, Brother Haki Ammi, and many others, 300 gangsters from Baltimore supposed to be out, Pastor Ted Sutton from Baltimore, Imam Akbar from the New Black Panther Party, Dr. Amy Jenkins, and others. Sisters will be there. But we will all be standing up for the 10,000 Black Men March and National Black Men's Convention. So that's where we are right now. We're headed to Charlottesville to get into these neo-Nazis and to push back and to attack against what they've been doing, and that is our current status reports. We're working on the Book of Khaled. We expect to give you further updates as we move into October and November, but we're moving along steadily and strongly. And this is where we are and what we're doing to help our people.
All right, brother. Thank you, Soldier.
Yes, sir. Man, respect to you, sir. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Sounds good. All right.
All right.
All right, brothers and sisters, thank you for tuning in. That was our brother, my brother, comrade, leader, teacher, brother, Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz. He's certainly on the front line, been on the front line, going to stay on the front line, upright brother who's been doing phenomenal work on your behalf. So if you need a good attorney, a confident and courageous attorney that won't sell you out, he is your man and your brother. So definitely stay tuned in. We'll be back next week. I'll be in Baltimore this week. There's a Work Baltimore initiative, so I'm gonna, try to get some young brothers and sisters some jobs. So that's a good thing we got going on. And then coming this Saturday at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum, there's a wealth diversity discussion. I won't be speaking there, but I'll be there. I'll have a table there. So, just have a good discussion. We have to get the pieces to the puzzle. You feel me? We got to know who different people are within our community, who's doing what, and who has what unique knowledge. So, all right, so that's what it's about, building. We must continue to build and go to the next level. So, till next week, I'm out. Peace.